Dormail, home of a great night's sleep.
Hello.
How's it going?
Really good. Do you know what? I'm still in Brighton. Can you see? I'm still in the hotel. I've just, treated myself this week. I haven't had a holiday since I did the Brighton zip. Sorry, I'm a zip 4 now.
Zip it up. Zip it. Zip it.
It's sell by date.
Seriously.
So you stay there. Quite right.
I just want to say I'm looking after a rescue dog at the moment, who's now going to have some helpful therapy. I'm going to ask the therapist if he can help me as well. Just letting you know.
Sounds good.
A twofer.
About time.
Yes, I've actually, have you still got Teddy with you, Sherry?
No, he's gone home at the moment to his real home, but I think he probably will come back today for a while.
There you go.
Oh, good.
Yes, how was that? A couple of days.
He likes going to them, really.
Oh, but I must tell you what happened. I must tell you what happened last week. There was a dog show here in Cobham, and Tinkerbell, who has won Best in Show before, was placed only in one category, and that was catching treats.
Oh,
she was
hysterical. Hysterical. She learned from the best, darling.
She did. But I was rather embarrassed when they threw sausages up. No other dog could catch them, and she caught all the other dog sausages. So yes.
She won.
She takes after her mother.
Teddy won't eat treats at all. He won't eat it, and he just goes, "Really, a sausage? Sorry, we've not got anything better than a sausage."
No. Yeah, well, he is a Chihuahua. So what do you expect? Anyway, we have a fantastic guest.
Yes.
We do. We have the wonderful Celia Imrie.
Welcome, darling.
Yes,
Celia.
Good morning.
Hi, Celia.
Hi.
Hello. Where are you at the moment? I'm just looking at your lovely house. Are you in London? Are you whereabouts in the world are you?
I'm in London. I'm in Notting Hill. Yes.
Oh, how lovely! I lived there many years ago.
I lived there.
I lived there.
There we are.
I used to live in Clanricarde Gardens.
And I used to live in Clanricarde Gardens.
And I used to live in Kensington Park Gardens. Thank you.
I know.
That's a bit closer.
What a shame we're not all here together today.
I know, darling.
We can pretend.
We can pretend. Well, Seals, welcome to the WonderBirds. It's so lovely to have you. I've been reading up all about you and your career, and it's just been mind-blowing. I mean, when you started to write your book, The Happy Hoofer, your first book about your life, I mean, how did that happen? Were you asked to write it?
Well, no. Somebody said to me, "Have you ever thought of writing your life?" And I said, "Oh no," thinking I can't think of anything more dull, or I haven't finished my life. And they said, "Yes, but if you don't, somebody else will." And I thought, "Oh no, they won't."
Yes, that's true.
You want to keep a few secrets, don't you? Or so I started doing it, and actually I really enjoyed it. I mean, because you can leave things out if you want. But I hope I've been quite honest, really. I hope I have.
Of course you have,
you
darling.
can't please everybody.
No, you can't.
All of the time.
When I think
Celia,
about
why the title? Where did the title come from?
Well, because I started my life as a chorus girl in pantomime. So Happy Hoofer is, is it an American term? I don't know.
Yeah.
Hoofer for a dancer.
But like tap dancing.
Exactly. That's how I began. That's, I was chorus girl for years, actually, before I was allowed to do my first play. But I don't regret any of it, actually. But I did about, I should think, 5 or 6 pantomimes in the chorus.
Brilliant.
Fabulous.
Amazing.
What was your first play, darling?
My first play or my first pantomime?
Both.
My first pantomime was Dick Whittington. And I think I put it in my book. I found the program the other day and realized that I played a sailor, a village person, a Turkish maid, and a sausage.
a sausage.
What I don't understand is how on earth I could have danced in a sausage costume. But anyway, it's down there. And so, but anyway, I loved it, of course. I absolutely adored every second of it. And then the first play I think I ever did, Harriet, was something like Don't Start Without Me or something. One of those comedy.
Yeah.
Yes, in East Grinstead, I think it was. Yes, and I didn't enjoy that quite so much. But anyway, I was on the way.
Well,
I am
my
absolutely-
first pantomime was also Dick Whittington, and I was with. I had to sing a song called "Where Is My Dick Gone?"
No change there, darling.
Honestly,
Goodness me.
can you believe that? You know,
Yes.
18 years old. Where is my dick? Where has he gone? And also, I was the princess. Obviously, it was Alice because I was small.
Naturally.
So I could only be a princess, and they're so boring, those parts, aren't they? Principal
You'd rather
girl
be a
parts.
sausage.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Evil.
Exactly.
Did
Celia.
they-
Darling, Celia, I wanted to say, darling,
Yes.
I am transfixed by your Instagram pictures. And there was one of you in Los Angeles on a train station, and it
Doing my
just
makeup on a
Yes,
train
darling.
station. I know, no shame.
and I'm transported because they're endlessly traveling. You takes you out of where you are and think, oh yes, on a train station, it's heaven, absolute heaven. Please
Fabulous.
talk to us about your
As-
new book, Orphans of the Storm.
Yes. Well, it's based on a true story, and that's a new thing for me because the other books I've written all about Nice have been made up. But of course, Brexit, I'm afraid, put the kibosh on doing any more of those because it's not that easy to be in France or anywhere else at the moment. But this is based on a true story about these two little boys, aged 3 and 2, who survived the Titanic. It was inspired by their photograph in a museum, and then
Wow.
I chased it up, thinking, because poor darlings, there they were in the other side of the world. Nobody could understand them. Nobody knew where they were, and it's a fascinating story. And I asked my best friend Baylis Morgan to come on board and do the research with me, because actually, it being a true story, it had to be correct.
Of
For
course.
the people who lived and the relatives and everything. So it had to be absolutely accurate, and it was a fascinating thing. One of my night school classes, along with life drawing, which I love, was the psychology of criminology. I know it sounds rather grand. But
No.
it meant that the characters that I came across in the book, some were not altogether so good, and we're all actors. We all understand about putting our heads into somebody else's life, and every now and again, I came across a character, and I thought, now why are they behaving like this? It's very interesting. I think there's more to this than meets the eye. So some of the time, I had to guess at what they might have been up to in their heads, and then I would find a fact which would absolutely show me that I was correct in thinking that, because actually they were hellish and deceitful and bad people.
Yes.
So it's been a fascinating journey, actually.
Absolutely.
And
But you've got
Celia,
a connection anyway, haven't you, to White Star Line and the
Yes.
Titanic? Tell the girls about that.
I think it's something that my great uncle William Imrie, who you'll see on the posters and on the boarding passes. He was one of the managing directors of White Star Line and worked with Bruce Ismay's father. He wasn't apparently so keen on Bruce Ismay, who turned out to be a bit of a rogue, as we know on the story. He made the Titanic go too fast. He was a greedy man, I think. Anyway, William Imrie died before the Titanic set sail, so he can't be blamed. But my grandfather worked on as a shipping clerk in Glasgow, and my uncles did. So I've got a great connection to the sea.
But you love sailing, don't you?
I've heard that you love sailing, and you love boats. So that hasn't put you off, has it?
No. I'm afraid I'm not a sailor. Even though I spent a lot of time in the Isle of Wight, you'd think I would have learnt by then. But I do. But I love going to America on the Queen Mary too. Yes, I do.
Exactly.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
And
yes, you've done that. How many times have you been to America on the Queen Mary?
Well, probably about, I think I've done the journey about 6 or 7 times.
Wow.
Fabulous.
Total
It's a lovely
luxury.
journey, isn't it?
Yes.
And do you write on? Is that where you write?
I do.
Yes.
And I also introduce films to the audience, you know, and tell them
Lovely.
about, by the way, these earrings I'm wearing, for instance, are the ones that I wore in the Exotic Marigold, and, you know, tell them little tidbits about that. But it is a glorious way to travel. I've also been seen in a fencing class halfway across the Atlantic,
Oh, God.
which is rather a daring thing to do. And then I spend the rest of the time saying, "Hello, sailor."
How fabulous.
I mean,
How
last time
wonderful.
Sherry and I have actually been on the, we were on the old Queen Elizabeth together, weren't we,
Yeah,
Sherry?
Were you?
We went to New York together on that. So
I went on that too as a child, just saying.
Oh, I loved it. Loved it.
It is extraordinary, isn't it?
Glorious way.
Going into
You
New
don't
York, that
fly,
moment.
do you, Celia? You don't fly, so
No.
Never,
No.
never.
If I can avoid it.
Yeah.
I know exactly how you feel, Celia, because I've got a real fear of flying, and I have had for many years. And yet, I did no. I don't think anyone knows this yet, but I did a zip wire the other day.
not
Right?
again.
Please put her on mute. If we hear about the zip wire,
I did a
want to
zip
open
wire,
mine.
Celia, and I flew through the air, Celia. Yes,
Well,
on a zip. Yes,
yes, but you were attached though, weren't you?
I was.
Yes.
Well
Very
done,
true.
you though.
Thank you.
Was it
Thank you.
thrilling? Did you love
was-
doing it?
It was very exciting. I mean, it's fabulous.
Did you sort of dread it and then you were thrilled that you'd done it, sort of thing?
Completely.
Well done.
It was a bit like a first night, you know.
Yes.
As soon as you walk on the stage, or as soon as you sort of take off, you're
Yes.
fine and want to do it again.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
and
sorry
you're-
to break this up talking about the zip wire, because if I hear about it again, I might go mad. So Celia, let us rewind and go back. So after you did your first play, when do you think your career started to go in the way that you expected, or did you never expect it to go this way?
No, absolutely not. I mean, there's 2 expressions which we all know of, and I sort of write about it at the beginning. When people say, well, when did you think you got there? And I said, where? When do you think you made it? And I said, made what?
Made what? Yeah.
So it's one of those things that, you know, you never think you're there, really, do you? Because it's
No,
also
you never get
unknown.
there, you never make it, you never do
No,
anything,
and
you
we
just carry on.
That's right. We just go on to the next and on to the next, really.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
and I love not knowing what's going to happen next, I suppose.
Oh,
and I
yes.
think we have to love that, because otherwise we'd go mad, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we would.
That's right.
And I think it's one of the most important. I mean, Dame Maggie Smith always says health is one of your most important qualities that you need, and I agree with her absolutely.
Yeah.
Correct. Completely.
But the whole understanding that you don't know what's happening next, and you rather relish that, has got to be another quality that you are armed with. Otherwise, you couldn't do this.
There's always hope, isn't there? There's always that possibility. It's always something to, you know, to know there's something ahead, as opposed to, you know.
I think it was very interesting watching you and keeping faith, because I've never seen you like that before.
Wasn't I horrible?
You were horrible.
Really?
You were.
You did good. You did good. You did good. Horrible though. You did really good.
Horrible.
You see, that's the other. That's the other thing. You have to. I mean, we're quite. Sorry, I'm going back to the book now, but I thought of it one day, so I did write it down, and I said, I thought we were a bit like Victorian girls in a ballroom, sitting on the outside, waiting to be asked to dance.
Yes.
Because in a funny sort of way, we are. We're quite powerless as
Completely.
actors.
Yeah.
And so the other thing that I try to do, although it's quite difficult, is to steer in a way away from the part that I played last, if possible, which is why I was so thrilled to be able to play such a horrible person, because people don't give me that chance, really.
Did you have to learn
Yeah.
Welsh? Did you have to learn Welsh? Because they do it in Welsh as well, don't they?
I know. I wish I had, Debbie, actually, because it's such a gloriously musical language. I mean, it's alarming when they suddenly do the whole scene in Welsh, but no, I managed to get out.
It's a difficult language, though, isn't it? Very difficult.
Yes.
I have family up
Terribly.
there, and it's so hard to learn.
But you see, the children learn it from the word go. So
I
that's
know.
the only way.
Yeah.
God, I wish I'd learnt more languages. I think it's such a fantastic skill to have up your sleeve, isn't it?
It is.
I know,
And
it is.
my grandson
every
is half
day.
Swedish. He's only 3. He's half Swedish, and he's bilingual, but he's also now can speak a bit of German as well. You know, he speaks Swedish, he speaks English, but he completely. So when his dad, it's very interesting, but how he translates himself. So when his dad talks to him, he always speaks to him in Swedish, and when his mum speaks to him, he speaks to him in English. And often Kira, my daughter, can't understand her husband, to which the little 3-year-old translates it naturally. Oh, Daddy said
How amazing! How amazing!
That is amazing.
Yes.
But talking about those times, Celia, how was lockdown for you? Because I found it really difficult, and even now, so-called coming out of the lockdown, I find that even more scary in a funny kind of way. Getting back to, and yet I've worked all my life, thank God. But this 18 months, I've been able to be at home with the youngest grandchild, who's only 2. So I've had her whole 2 to me, and I've loved every second of it. How did you find it?
Well, yes, I haven't liked it very much actually at all. There was a moment just before lockdown when I was in my house, and my friend Fidelis actually was in my flat in Nice. I have a lovely apartment in Nice, and she said, "Well, why don't you come over?" And I thought, well, everybody was stopping everything.
Yes.
And I suddenly thought, actually, being on my own here is rather a grim prospect. And so I jumped onto the last Eurostar going out of London.
Wow.
And went to Nice, and thank the Lord I did, actually, because it was a much safer and more free place to be.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because we've all worked all our life, and that's the reason we sort of get up in the morning. So this whole clamp down has been very peculiar, because we think, well, what are we supposed to be doing? What is our life?
What's our lives? Yeah.
But I agree with you. My son has a 3-year-old, and actually, for is it your granddaughter or your grandson?
The little one, the tiny girl. Yeah.
Your granddaughter and my grandson, I think, have had the most magical time of their parents or you being with them in a way that probably, if we were working all our usual lives, they wouldn't have had that magical time. And I think it's going to be wonderful for them.
It is, because I didn't see the other 2, you see, the other 2, the 15 and the 10, because I was working the whole time. And now I've realized that I didn't have to maybe work that amount of time. I could have spent more time. And that's what's been joyous. But you're right. What it does is you kind of go, oh, well, what am I for then?
I know.
I have no purpose now.
I know.
It's a very strange feeling, isn't it?
It is. Well, because our work is our lives.
Yes.
I mean, we don't want to put too much sort of drama onto it, but that's true. I mean, and we sort of ricochet from one job to the next, really.
That is absolutely right.
In a way.
Well, I think also what we learn is that we can't be just defined by one job, and that it's given us a breath to see we're defined by other things. We see things differently now, because when that sense of what you were talking about earlier, of sitting around waiting to be asked to dance, there's a sense of having value for one moment and then being valueless the next, and realizing that if we endlessly hand that over to other people, we're lost. And I think it has been so hard, but to know and to come back is such a relief. But also it's given me time to think, I can't be defined by one thing. And we aren't, as you said, I don't have grandchildren yet, but it's that there's other things that define us and are so special and important.
And also to do other things. I mean, suddenly people are doing sort of painting or making things or jewelry, or so suddenly we're discovering things within ourselves that we can do as well,
Yeah, creating.
which has given us a space to do that.
Yes.
I
mean, I've taken up mosaicing, which is
What?
Have you?
What?
round the bathroom, because there happened to be a little gap around the bath. So
Yes.
I started mosaicing, which is very time consuming, but actually is a gorgeous thing to do.
What is the picture, or is it just colours? What's happening?
Do you get tiles?
I want a floor done, darling. So if I can sort that out now.
Yes,
We're commissioning you, darling.
No, but I mean, all those things are valuable too. But I suppose we've never given ourselves, you know, the pleasure of that time. Or the space,
Yes.
or actually, well done for doing that. You know.
What was the moment, darling? What was the moment when you suddenly thought mosaicing? What happened that you thought? I
just wanted to fill that gap because it was rather ugly, and I suppose in France, you know, they do take their buildings and their windows and everything so seriously, and they preserve everything so beautifully. So I think I got it from a church window. I suddenly thought that. So,
and may I ask you, Celia, do you like smash up tiles? Because I've got a friend who is a very successful mosaic artist who was a psychotherapist, and to keep sane, he started mosaicing, and now he does the most amazing mosaics.
Sorry, Dee, do you mean to keep saying he started smashing tiles and then thought he'd do mosaic? Right. Is that the journey? Yeah, thank you.
He did,
clarity.
Actually, yes.
But very therapeutic, I bet it was too. I like to smash tiles now and again.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely. And matches different colours, and you know, beautiful mosaics.
So wonderful seeing you. Thank you, darling.
Thank you,
darling.
Even though
we've made this into a double, we're still going to ask you back again to see us.
There's no escape, darling. No escape.
Thank you, Celia.
Thank you, Celia.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye.
Oh, heavenly.
What a delight.
What a tonic.
Joy.
I know.
Joy.
Fabulous.
I don't know what to say next.
All
really.
her career, I've just really admired everything she's ever done. So it's such a
joy. Yes.
Her creativity and
so
the
much more
diversity.
to talk about, wasn't there?
I know.
Yes,
Lovely.
She's so creative, and the diversity of her talents as well. As,
I know.
So
and she's a trapeze artist.
Yes, I know. Fabulous.
That beats a zip wire. That beats a zip wire.
It does actually. I have to say, definitely does.
I must tell you that I think Julie Peasgood's mother was a trapeze artist.
She was. Yes, she was. Absolutely.
How funny! All these connections with the circus.
You see
the wires, darling.
Please stop mentioning the wires. Jeez, Louise.
On that
note, the sound.
We'll see you soon.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Dormail, home of a great night's sleep.